Hey guys, welcome to the last episode of Patriots Review. And I'm just going to get right to it. Devin Asiasi finally had a touchdown pass. Actually, he finally had a catch. Been dropping them all year, if he got targeted at all. And honestly, I like Devin Asiasi. So I'm glad he got it. Just a little shocked he didn't get any chances beforehand. But also, just the offense in general, where has this been all year? Seriously, if we played offensively like we did yesterday, but all year, we'd be serious contenders. Granted, it was the Jets, so it was a little easier to get away with these things. But still, the play calling was actually pretty creative for a bit. We dipped into the bag of tricks for, the third time all season? And yeah, but I don't know, this offense has just not been good at all this year. And I should be happy to see such great production in the last game. And a little part of me is, especially knowing that if we had been in the playoffs this year, that could have been a great sign for us heading forward. Excuse me, sorry. But, it's just not, that's just not the case. Defensively, I don't have much to say other than J.C. Jackson should have been selected to the Pro Bowl over Stephon Gilmore. Say whatever you want about that, but Gilmore barely played half the season. J.C. Jackson played all year, most picks out of anyone on this team. He had more than Gilmore last year, actually. And at times it seemed like he was one of the few players on that defense who was legitimate, or just on the team, who was legitimately trying. Anyway, I'm going to give the offense today a C, because although it was really good, it was against the Jets, so can't really give a good grade against the Jets. The defense gets a D to D+. Overall, a C- to a C. But for the season in general, the offense struggled all year. It started off great the first couple weeks, but then it just struggled completely. Going from all runs, and the only passing plays we saw were screens and shovel passes. And then we started to see Cam being forced into playing like a pocket passer, which he just isn't. He's a mobile quarterback. And honestly, that's why I don't want Cam here next year. I love Cam Newton as a person, and I'll bet he's a great locker room presence. But on the field, Cam didn't get to be Cam. It was like he was being forced to be Brady. And not metaphorically, I mean literally. It was like they were trying to make him into the same quarterback Brady was. Just stand there in the pocket all day and throw it. He never scrambled when the receivers got covered. And that's upsetting to see with a mobile quarterback, that he would just stand there and wait for a receiver to get open and take the sack, versus trying to get out of there quickly before the pocket completely collapsed on him and try to get something. And the defense, the defense was okay. The defense was good enough that if we had had a solid offense all year, then we would have been just fine. But even so, it just felt like last year where the defense was what had to carry us all year, and we didn't have that historic number one defense that we had last year that carried us all the way. We had to rely on the offense a bit this year, and even though we were in most of those games, it still wasn't enough. And special teams all year was good. Gunnar Olszewski's looking great as a returner. Still don't trust Nick Folk. I hope he goes too. And that we get somebody young. Or maybe Robbie Gould from the 49ers. You know? Just somebody good. Either a good veteran who can be trusted, or a young player who has his whole career ahead of him. And finally, for the season's final overall grade, I'm going to give them a D+ to C- for just everything. Excuse me. Also, I just gotta say, this is going to be the final episode of Patriots Review. And I don't just mean this season, I mean probably altogether. I don't see myself doing this again next year. The reason I did it was because the day after that Week 1 game, I thought this would be something fun to do. And kind of, challenge myself to watch the games and analyze them more than I did before, just watching. And there were weeks when I honestly didn't want to do this. And I kind of had to make myself do it. And the only reason I kept doing it was because I figured I might as well finish the season. Well, now that the season's finished, Patriots Review is done. Because this is the sort of thing that made me quit a year ago. And when I came back, I made a promise to myself that I would only make videos that I had fun with. Which is why at times I just, as a friend put it, seemed like a broken record. Saying the same things over and over again every week. I managed to make the last couple Patriots reviews kind of fun. With the Evil Twin saga. Or when we lost to the Rams, just doing that little bit where they finally broke me. But otherwise, I just didn't have fun doing this. And I don't want to do something that I'm not having fun with. I love making these videos. I feel like the quality is getting a lot better than it was before. It's getting better as time goes on. And I want to see how far I can do this. But at the same time, I don't want to make myself do something I don't like doing. So I'm going to continue making videos. But just don't expect me to do any more Patriots reviews next year. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this final episode of Patriots Review. And I'll catch you guys next time.